Notts County Talk outside Med Lane, it's finished. Notts County 3, Aldershot 2. Always a pleasure, Jordan, to interview you. Such a lovely lad, everyone on the channel knows. But that was not easy, was it?
No, not one bit. We did make it tough for ourselves. I mean, obviously we showed we can score goals and we can get going. Yeah, like you said, a bit tough, didn't make it easy. But 3 points in the end, that's all that matters.
Obviously, we go in these games, and I think I was speaking to someone near me. The last 2 seasons before this, I feel like these were the games that would trip Notts up and would end up 0-0 or would lose it 1-0. Does this feel like a very important win? I know it's so early in the season, but we've had problems with teams like this in the past.
Yeah, I think it is an important win, and like you said, lower in the league teams or teams that aren't in form do tend to trip us up when we've played past seasons. I don't know what it is, but we've always performed better against top sides than we have against the lower sides. So I think you're right in saying it is important, just for that confidence that we can beat anyone. I know obviously they're lower, but you need to know that you've got that in there, that even if you go against, because we had Wrexham on Monday, this is a lot different test to that. And obviously the boys would have been up for Wrexham. There's no doubt that you can get yourself up for a game like that. But then to play a team that have lost all the games so far, mentally wise, I know footballers probably don't say it and they say, oh, you're up for every game, but mentally there's got to be something in the back of your mind thinking, yeah, we're going to do it here, we're going to step on that pitch and we're going to get the win. And it's good to know that despite them losing their game so far, we still showed them what we're capable of and put them to the sword a bit, even though we conceded at the same time.
Well, they're going to come into this, and the first thing that's got to be on their mind is getting a point on the board, so that they're coming out determined. I was going to speak to you about it, briefly mentioned Wrexham. Very, very different performance. We've seen different formations used. It's encouraging that we can mix it up, and we've got the players on the bench this season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the fact that obviously things weren't going well, he switched it up straight away. I mean, I like that about Birchnell. You could tell throughout the first half, we need to be a bit more braver on the ball. We're braver off the ball now. We're making those runs and those risky runs and trying to get into those spaces. But I think we're not brave enough to take the risk to sometimes pass it. I think in the 5 at the back formation, it's easy for us to just pass it to the guy next to us. And I know that creates space eventually, and we do get up eventually. But when we changed it to the 4 at the back, it meant that the centre-backs didn't have as many options, so they had to make that braver ball, and it worked. So
I want to talk about Cal Roberts. Obviously, we do the player ratings later. What would you give him first half? What would you give him second half? Because 2 very different performances.
First half, 5 or a 6.
I think that's generous.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I think in that position you can tell he's not defensive-minded at all, and that's not a criticism against him, because he is best when he's on the ball in the attacking third on the right hand side of the pitch, and if he's not in that position at all during that half, it's very difficult for him to get on the ball and affect the game. And then you saw as soon as we switched it and he went out on that right hand side, going at players, doing loads of tricks and trying to get past them. There is no way that I think that you can't play him there. I think it's so difficult for Birchnell because there's a system that we've worked on and we're trying to fit him in. But you saw how much difference there was. It's probably an 8 or a 9 in the second half compared to the first because of where he's playing. And I think in his head, if he's set up to play that there in his head, he's more positive in his mind going out there and playing than if he gets put in the team sheet and is playing centre mid. I think he's a lot happier out there and he wants to do more on the ball. And yeah, you could tell the difference a mile off.
Yeah, I agree. Last point I want to make, I've made it known to me on this channel, there's Dion, firm favourite, but Alex Lacey for me is up there. He was incredible.
Yeah, I think he obviously slotted back in. A lot of people didn't expect him to come back in today, and he's done a job. I think the strikers were a bit tall and a bit pacey. You could see that at times. I think you could tell he wasn't maybe as switched on in terms of the passing as much, in terms of how we've been playing out from the back. But he did a great job defensively, and I think that's why he probably needed to come off, because he did such a good job. He'd worn himself out. So, no, fair play to him.
Yeah,
really
exactly. Good. Still unbeaten. Jordan, great to speak to you. Cheers for joining me.
Thanks.